Sri Sachidananda Sadguru Sainath Maharaj Ki Jai. Sri Sai Satcharitra, An Insight. Episode 70. My humble prostrations at the lotus feet of our Sadguru Sai. By the divine grace of Sai, an attempt has been made to translate the gist of the divine discourse of Sri Ramanathan Brother telecasted in Sai TV. This is purely done to share the glory of Sai and his divine teachings with more insight to the aspirants. Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Gurur Sakshat Parabrahmam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. We closed the previous episode with the affirmations of Baba given to Mr. Cholkar, which goes thus: If you spread your palms with devotion before me, I am immediately with you day and night. Though I am here bodily, still I know what you do beyond the seven seas. Go wherever you will over the wide world. I am with you. My abode is in your heart, as well as in the hearts of all beings. Blessed and fortunate indeed is he who knows me thus. Every word spelled by Baba has a deeper connotation. These affirmations are significant because they are Vedantic philosophies, but he spoke them in the vernacular dialect, enabling even a layman to catch its purport. Let us ponder on this now. It is inevitable for all of us to remember that God is ever watching us, and this is one of the greatest virtues to be acquired by a spiritual aspirant. In fact, the next chapter of Sri Sai Satcharitra speaks about the qualities to be possessed by a seeker of Brahmanyana. It is amazing to note that this great epic Sri Sai Satcharitra is phenomenal because every chapter carries a seed of thought on the subject that is to be discussed in the forthcoming chapters. Likewise, the present chapter gives us all the key points on the topic that are elucidated in the next chapter. Few readers are of the opinion that in Sri Sai Satcharitra, each chapter has diverse subjects and there is no continuity in the Leelas illustrated. But this is absolutely their misconception. Hemat Panji did not record his writings in a disordered manner. Baba has professed that Sri Sai Satcharitra was written by him and Hemant Panji is a mere instrument in penning down the epic. Devotees, you will marvel if you pay your full attention to the compilations of these chapters and their connections. It looks as though Hemat Panji has followed a peculiar style in his compilations because prior to incorporating the spiritual philosophies divulged by Baba to his devotees, the author has jotted down the thoughts associated to those teachings and prepared the reader to receive and assimilate the greatest truth. He wove the chapters of Sri Sai Satcharitra into a beautiful garland. Now, returning to the affirmations of Baba, the crux of those pronouncements is God is watching on us. Why should a spiritual aspirant imbibe upon this thought? Let me share my understanding. As you know, next chapter expounds certain qualities to be possessed by a person seeking for Brahmanyana, and eradicating evil is one among those 10 virtues. How can a person eliminate evil? This is possible only when the aspirant is of the firm conviction that the eyes of the God are ever upon him, then his mind will never engage doing wrong. In the words of Swami Chidbhavananda, தானாக்காரன் முன்னாடி கள்ளன் தப்பு செய்ய மாட்டான், which means in the presence of a policeman, a thief would never commit a crime, rather behave like a virtuous person. Similarly, when an aspirant believes that God's eyes are watching upon us, then we would never commit any offense. This is a means through which we can eliminate evil and avoid accumulating more prarabdha karmas to our account. And Baba is also emphasizing the same through the aforesaid pronouncements. I would like to narrate a story in this connection. There was a guru and he had many disciples. The guru was training the students for their spiritual upliftment. One day, he announced to the students of his Gurukul that the following day he is going to test their knowledge and skills. Guru's words are law to the students. The next day, none of the students were provided food, and the students were also very disciplined that they would not eat until the Guru would permit them. The whole day, all the students starved, and next day morning, they were keenly waiting upon the Guru. Guru gave a banana to each student and told them to eat it in a secluded place with a condition that none should see them eating, and said this was the test for them. Now all the students took their fruit and went away. They all ate the banana except 2 students who returned without eating the fruit. Guru declared those 2 as the winners. Let us brood over on this decision of the Guru. Prior to this, the Guru had preached to his student thus: Isha Vasya Midam Sarvam, which means the entire universe is pervaded by God. Now, the students who were fasting for one whole day, when given a fruit to eat with a condition to consume it in a secluded place, they quickly hid themselves somewhere, ate the fruit where there was no one, and thought the test was very simple and they had accomplished it successfully. Everyone wondered why those 2 disciples had returned without eating. Guru wished to listen to the response of those 2, hence he asked them, "Were you both not hungry? Why didn't you not eat the banana?" Immediately those 2 spoke thus: "Guru, you have advocated to us that God dwells in the entire universe. In that case, there is no place devoid of him, hence we could not eat the fruit." The Guru was extremely happy listening to the response of those 2 students. He embraced them and said that they are the real winners of this competition. The moral of this story is everyone should be of the firm belief that we are ever under the direct vigilance of God. Unless we cultivate such thoughts, we might end up doing misdeeds. All religions insist upon this philosophy, and this can be considered as one of the core beliefs of all religion. Sufi saints often pronounce the term Allahu Mai, which means God is with me. Similarly, in Holy Quran, Surah 57, 4th Rahat, verse says, "It is He who created the heavens and the earth in 6 days, then settled over the throne. He knows what penetrates the earth and what comes out of it, and what descends from the sky and what ascends to it. And He is with you wherever you may be. God is seeing of everything you do." Let us listen to what Christianity has to share with us. The term Emmanuel is a Hebrew word meaning God with us, and expresses the wonder of the incarnation, that God became flesh and made his dwelling among us. Similarly, the term Irija means the Lord sees me. These philosophical truths are not limited to only Hinduism, Sufism, Islam, and Christianity, but to all beliefs. As per Judaism, the eyes of Jehovah are in every place, keeping watch on the wicked and the good, which means the eyes of the Lord are everywhere, watching on the evil and the wicked. And this truth was emphasized by Baba through Cholkar's sugarless tea leela. Comparatively, this chapter is very small with just 105 OVs, yet a significant one. How fortunate and blessed was Cholkar! Whatever thought passed in his mind, Baba gave him proof of it. Unfathomable are the Leelas of our Sadguru Sai Maharaj. Cholkar was a complete stranger to Shirdi. It was Das Ganu's Kirtan that inculcated faith in the mind of Cholkar, made him to take a vow, self imposed punishment for the postponement of that vow. Though all this was kept secret, omniscient Baba was greatly pleased with Cholkar, hence pulled him to Shirdi, showered his abundant grace upon him, and even today we, the children of Sai, could listen and wonder at this amazing episode. Now, Hemant Panji continues this episode with another fascinating incident. One day, when Baba was seated in Dwaraka in his darbar, surrounded by devotees, just then, on the walls of Nimbar, that is the center portion of Dwaraka a lizard was chirping. It is a normal practice among the devotees to immediately ask Baba their questions or clarify their doubts. Listeners might have known that there is a belief known as lizard astrology that narrates the effects of lizard falling on different body parts. Depending on the time and the region on the human body where the lizard fell, the interpretations and expected results are given in Gauli Panchangam. One of the devotees was curious to know if the chirping noise of the lizard foreshadowed anything. Hence, he immediately asked, Baba, why is this lizard on the wall chirping? What does that mean? Is it a bad omen? Baba casually replied, Oh, that lizard is joyous in anticipation of her sister's arrival from Aurangabad to meet her. Everyone burst out in laughter at this reply of Baba. At times, Baba would entertain the devotees with his witty statements. Hence, they took this to be one of that kind. At the outset, the lizard is an insignificant creature. How could she know that she has a sister in Aurangabad? And that sister would come to meet her soon. So, everyone kept quiet about it, and the Darbar of Sai continued with other topics. Just then, a devotee arrived from Aurangabad in a horse cart. The horse was tired and hungry, so the devotee decided to feed the horse, hence, set out for the market to purchase some horse grams. As he might need the feeding bag to bring the horse grams, he removed it from the cart. These feeding bags are usually filled with fodder and kept inside a sack of hay, which was also used as a seat by the travelers. The devotee emptied the bag and dusted it. This incident was taking place in the Sabha Mandap, which was an open space in front of Dwaraka Mai, which had no roof but had small mud walls around it. Now, as soon as the gentleman dusted the feed bag, a lizard jumped out of it and quickly ran with fright. All those who were seated in the Sabha Mandap were witnessing this, including the devotee who questioned Baba about the chirping sound of the lizard. This lizard was indeed blessed to crawl on the divine abode of Sai. It swiftly crawled on the walls of Dwaraka Mai, and the lizard, which was already waiting on the walls of the Nimbar chirped, and now the lizard from Aurangabad moved in the direction of that noise, swaying joyously. Now Baba said to the person who had asked the question, "Now keep an eye on her. This is the sister of that lizard. Look at the marvelous behavior." Now both the lizard sisters met. They kissed and hugged each other closely. Their affection was revealed in an incomparable way. They went around each other. They turned round and round happily, went straight, horizontally, diagonally, and danced about freely. Everyone was awestruck watching this beautiful scene. What can one say about this incident? Let us contemplate on this. Aurangabad is very far from Shirdi. How did the lizard in Shirdi foresee the arrival of its sister from Aurangabad through this horseman? Why will someone bother about the chirping sound of the lizard and pose a question on this matter to the Supreme Lord Sai Baba? And what does all this reveal? There are innumerable dramas enacted in this world by the Creator, and many are unperceivable. When someone proves them with evidence, then that turns to be a miracle. So, according to this incident, a person was interested to understand the significance of the sound, and his curiosity kindled him to raise a question to Baba. Baba responded to him, and in a short while the other lizard also reached there to confirm the dictum of Baba. So, should this drama be taken as a mere coincidence or Sai incidence? Saints enact such beautiful dramas for the sake of inculcating faith in the minds of the devotees for their welfare. Hence, the chirping sound of the lizard, Baba's assertion, and the arrival of its sister from Aurangabad is a unique and amazing Leela. This is demonstrated to reveal the greatness of the Sadguru. Hemat Panji has recorded this Leela to divulge the omniscience of Baba, and all those who witnessed it are indeed greatly blessed. What of the lizard? Nothing is unveiled for Baba, the controller and the wire puller of this universe. He can understand the conversations of any creature, foresee and foretell all the events, and describe every aspect of an atom of this entire cosmos. All the 8 Siddhis were present in him. Devotees, we need to reflect upon this. He never got them by spiritual practices, but they were at his command and ready to serve him at his will. He was not a sadhaka, that is, a seeker who gains mystic powers by sadhana, but he was a Siddha Purusha, a storehouse of all the Siddhis. Hence, all these supernatural powers were existing in him. Let me narrate an interesting Leela in this connection. In Shirdi, there lived a person by named Bhikkhu Marwari. He was avaricious, and his behavior did not change though he was residing in the Holy Land, where the God's incarnation has manifested in the form of Shirdi Sai Baba. Once a bull was dedicated to Lord Shiva, and that was ruining all the fields and destroying the crops. Hence, the people unanimously decided to send the bull to an asylum. So collected some funds for this purpose and entrusted this work to Bhikkhu. Bhikkhu Marwari proved greedy. He took the bull and sold it to a butcher. Omniscient Baba, however, was aware of his cunning drama, and he appeared in Sri Bayaji's dream and said, "You have been enjoying a sound sleep, whereas placed me in a butcher's hand." Bayaji immediately discussed with the villagers and went to find the bull. To his astonishment, he could not find it in the asylum of beasts. He was making a diligent search everywhere, but all in vain. Hence, decided to look for it in the butcher's lane. Just at that moment, a bull raised its head above the compound wall, and Bayaji at once noticed it and immediately approached the butcher. He told the butcher to send the bull with him, whereas the butcher said that it was purchased by him for rupees 14. This money was paid to him, and the bull was relieved from the butcher and kept in the asylum. As Baba's compassion and protection extended to all creatures, he saved this bull from being slaughtered. Bhikkhu Marwari was prosecuted and underwent imprisonment for his sinful act. Kind-hearted Baba can never see the sufferings of any creature, be it a man or a bull. He gives immediate relief to its pain and miseries. This incident also exhibits that Baba is a Sarvantaryami. He is benignant, hence he cares for their welfare, and his love gushes to even to other creatures. He grants liberation not only to mortals but to all creatures. Whatever Baba spoke transpired. He didn't speak what has happened. He employed his supreme means to make a devotee believe firmly on his omnipresence. Devotees, do not be skeptical. Even an iota of doubt on the Leelas of Baba can take you away far from his divine vicinity. He is pure consciousness. Nothing is impossible for him. Have full faith at the holy feet of Baba. Listen to these Leelas with single-minded devotion. Have belief in his pronouncements. He is our Savior. Baba has asserted, I am omnipresent. There is nothing else besides me in this world. I exist not only in this world but in all the three. Hemad Panji says, I have surrendered completely to Sai. I do not wish to leave his feet even for a moment, as I know he will guide me to attain the goal of life. Hence, listeners, have unwavering faith on Baba. Then there is nothing to fear. Surrender at his lotus feet, and you will realize how skillfully he guides you to traverse this worldly existence. These stories are narrated for the listeners to heed and understand the powers of the divine incarnation. Listen to the glory of Sai, when attended enthusiastically, will fill your heart with the love of Sai. Your desires will vanish. Unless desires are given up, one cannot attain Brahman, and the Supreme Lord Sai Baba will guide you to attain self-realization. May we all humbly submit ourselves at the holy feet of our Sadguru Sai Maharaj and shall continue to listen to more enthralling Leelas in the coming episode. Bow to Sri Sai. Peace be to all. Om Sai Ram.